All right, so part 2 on what I was just speaking on in the previous vid. I don't know what the title is gonna be yet, but so getting back into like non-physicality as well as like the physical realm. So the cross, like I stated, it makes up the 4 elements, but getting into how like spiritual beings view this world. So when you're very like enlightened to the spiritual realm, most of these people have a lot of water in their charts, or they have a lot of fire. And honestly, I'm gonna say that you got all 4 elements really. It's like you're a composite of all of these energies, and this is why it's so fluid for your awareness to be on spiritual matters and not just the physical matters. So like people that are like spiritually enlightened, we're like the avatars of, literally from the TV show Avatar: The Last Airbender. So pretty much Avatar is not a name, it's not a title for one set person. It's a title that all of us have because our physical bodies are avatars. They're just that. They're customizable. And when you get into the spirit realm, that's how it's customizable. You don't need to know all that information yet. You just an observer. You don't know none of this shit, so that's why you're learning it. For people that be like, well, explain what that means. Explain what that means. You don't need to know that yet. Some of this shit be above certain people's clearance. And even when we giving out spiritual information, people can't even take it. They can't even receive it because it's beyond your scope of awareness at this time. And your guides are literally stopping your ears from perceiving it. Not even just your physical ears, your spirit ears. Like, things go beyond just this physical. And people like to get besides themselves and think that because I haven't seen it yet, or because a group of individuals outside of me haven't reported it to me, they just haven't reported it to your ass. It's just unaware to you. People think the shit that go on in the public, oh, mainstream society hasn't heard it yet, so it must not be true. You're still one of those that don't get that there are secret societies that exist amongst the masses. Even religions, like all of this information that religions speak on about how Moses spread the sea and how Moses did all of those things. Moses didn't do all of that shit willy-nilly by itself, by his damn self. And he wasn't just some regular person like how you see people today. They lived in a totally different society where it was okay to be practicing sorcery, to be practicing magic. Because what did the Bible say? You're made in the image and likeness of the Creator. You are to have dominion and authority over every particle that composites the earth. You're supposed to have authority over every animal. You came here to be just like the Creator in physical form. And you don't even know what the Bible even entails about you. Because why the fuck would they give you the keys to the spirit realm? Why the fuck would slaves be given the keys to the spirit realm? If the Bible says that there's power of life and death in the tongue, well, why the fuck would a slave who is under another person's authority be given keys to step out of that person's bondage? Why would they give you the full keys? Like I stated, it's secret societies that hold certain bits of information. And you happen to live in a whole entire secret society. That's why Jesus even said himself, he's speaking parables. His story is not, his messages and teachings is not for everybody. That's why I'm going to give it to y'all asses in a compacted story. I'm going to give it to you in a fable, in a myth. That's why you're not supposed to take none of this shit. You're supposed to take all of this shit with a grain of salt because it's just myths. It's just little stories, little analogies. Like what we have in nature. Nature, everything in nature is a symbol to that which is in the spirit realm. So this tree, even being in and of itself, there's so many different analogies that you can pull out of that tree just from watching that tree grow. So many spiritual analogies that you can make, and so many spiritual videos that you can make that'll be 40, 50, 80, 90, 100 minutes long. A picture, that's why they say an image is worth 1,000 words. It's actually worth more than that. But that's not what we get into. This shit could go on and on and on. Like, with spiritual topics, you can make videos for days. You should never, like, with a person who's a real spiritualist, you should be, your content should just be rolling. You should be having so much content that you sometimes can't even put it all out because you got that much. And sometimes when I notice that when I had that much content, somebody else done made the video before I did because I'm just letting all that shit sit in my drafts. Sometimes we be getting energies, or we be getting downloads that it's not even necessarily for us to tell other people. So that's why we be procrastinating and even putting certain shit out, because some of that shit was for your personal development, and we didn't tell you so you could go tell everybody that. So even us as spiritualists, there's still a lot of things that we're trying to get correct before we even do certain shit. But like I was saying, so like when people try to ask us what we doing over the days, what did you do on this day, what did you do on that day, the Bible states that one day is like 1,000 years to God. So God is a spirit. It says that those who worship the Lord must worship in spirit and in truth. So getting back to how the Creator, remember it stated in Genesis 1, the verse that I put up about the Creator, being the spirit hovered above the surface of the waters. He said that 1,000 days is like, one day is like 1,000 years to God, and 1,000 years is like one day to God, right? Well, given that the Creator looks at time very much so different than we do here in the physical, right? The physical is at a different vibration than spiritual. Well, what do spiritualists mean when they say vibration? What vibrations? Well, when you look at all four elements are made of different levels of movement. The four elements: fire, earth, air, and water. So fire, it obviously, when you see fire in a flame, it's constantly dancing, it's constantly moving. When you look at the element of water, water is always moving. Water has motion. You drop something in the water, it makes a ripple, and it makes a wave, and that wave has rhythm that is inside of it. And so now there's a space, and it's a frequency. And if you saw each of those waves and each of those ripples, you could measure the distance between each of them, and all of them are in sync with each other. And when you look at the element of air is constantly moving. Even if you can't see it, air is always moving. It's ever present. It's all around us, and it's like the water. It's a deep ass well. It's like how the oceans are so undiscovered. The air is undiscovered too, just for the simple fact that the air, you can't even see it unless it's invoked through heat, and unless coldness is invoked upon it. And so heat would be like lighting up a blunt. Like you burn something and now smoke is created. You light an incense and you burn something. You even look like burning water. You see it evaporate. That's the vapor. That's air. So air is just another form of water, but it's in like a lighter state. Water is like a more denser form of air. And so now even when you get to the element of earth doesn't look like it's moving because it's the slowest moving element. And that's the planet that we're on, Earth. We're on the planet of like matter, the material realm, physicality, everything that you can see and touch with the five senses, everything that you can interact with your five senses deals with Earth. And like I stated, Earth is the slowest moving element. And so when we get to the Earth realm, things in the Earth realm could look solid. It look like it's not moving. But when you zoom in on particles, like on a microscopic level, these like everything is in its own little world. Even when you zoom in on your cells in a microscope, you'll see that your skin is constantly moving. It just doesn't look like it has any motion. That's why when you get a cut or a wound, you'll look at it 3 days later and it's in a whole different form than it was before. Because even your body, even though it might look like it has a certain level of solidity to it, no matter how solid it is, it still has movement, but on a microscopic level. And so when you get on the Earth realm, things appear different than as they actually are. And that's where people get it confused with the spirit realm and the physical realm. They don't see there's a different time gap. And so when people are like more spiritually enlightened, you're aware of the spiritual energy. You're aware of those vibrations, because some vibrations move so much faster than the Earth that you might not even think that they're there because they're moving so fast. Like the same way your cells in your body are moving so slow that you don't think that they're moving at all. Well, some shit can go so fast that you don't even see it or perceive it. It's like it's like moving something real quick so a baby don't see it. Because you're a baby, you're slow. You're naturally processing everything from a slower perspective, from a slow down point of view. So literally with the spirit realm and the physical realm, it's like we're the babies and the spirit realm is our parents, and we don't know nothing of what the fuck is going on. We just know what we know and what we feel when we feel it. And so when it comes to the spirit realm, people that are enlightened, you use your spiritual eyes more than you use your physical eyes. And when you try to sum up your experiences to other people, it's coming from the consciousness of your spirit's mind and what you have allowed your spirit to show you. And so this the thing too, when the Creator said in Genesis 1:26, let us make man in our image and in our likeness, God is the Creator is a dual being, right? Being of two natures, being of more than one nature. And given that the Creator even consulted with itself, let us make man, yo, we need to conspire and we need to make a plan that we're gonna do this and we're gonna make the bombest people ever. All right, bet, we doing it. The Creator had a whole conversation with itself. So the same way the Creator is a dual being, you are also a dual being. And what people that are not spiritually enlightened don't understand is that there's another part of our consciousness that we can peel back. And this is what I was speaking on when I say that there are secret societies that are aware of the duality of our being. Some people walk around this world not even realizing that they're dual beings. It's kind of just like how we have credit cards and credit systems. The poor don't know how to utilize their debit, they don't know how to utilize their finances to get out of this debt that we keep accruing. We keep using our money to buy things, and instead of using credit cards, money that is not ours, to buy shit. And when you use money that's not yours to fulfill your needs, your everyday day-to-day needs, assets and things like that,